The games are about to begin. You're watching Butler Esports.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. If you're just joining us, well, welcome. We're here at the Butler land, and I am still the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Risky Run Whiskey. It was 104 days of summer vacation, and Cincinnati came along to take it. What do you think?
Yes, 7-2 victory, continuing to cement their first place in the group stage so far. 15-round positive differential for them. Put on a bit of a show and played a little Cav. I mean, that map had everything. And, we're just getting into layer. A little bit difficult here, trying to get all the call-outs nailed down. But now we get to roll into Nighthaven. And this map here, we're talking about the $4,000 Butler Fall Break LAN event here. Who's up next? It is Purdue Fort Wayne taking on Eastern Kentucky University. And this one I'm looking forward to. There's some huge implications for the Purdue Fort Wayne team. They struggled on the first round, so this is their opportunity. It's comeback time.
That's right. EKU versus Purdue, Fort Wayne edition, and we're headed to Nighthaven Labs to do it. It's my favorite map, folks, and It is my favorite for a reason. It's huge. It's got all kinds of different strategies and variables that you can bring to the table. It can be attack friendly if you're a well put together attack team, or it's a defensive hold if you've got that on lock. It's got so much variety. I love it. Now, speaking of variety, Ace gone off the board. Bye, sayonara, see you later. Is it a target ban, or is it just we want to slow him down? You see, Nighthaven played in that similar strat that Clubhouse is, right? You bring that two-pronged approach. Ace and Thermite brought almost every time to open up everything. There's so many avenues to attack. That's a fun ban, Whiskey.
Yeah, and because you've got so much area that you want to try and open on most of the Nighthaven sites, it's a huge map, right? Plenty of opportunity to need the hard breach. So interesting that, okay, the defense is going to start off trying to make it difficult, right? They're going for round differential, right? Slow down the attack team to start off, try and build up a little bit of a round lead, and if you can survive without Ace on your own, that could be exactly what you need. Now, the interesting one to me, banning out the Mira. Mira is so good on this map that I feel like if you're EKU starting on defense, that you would really want to play it in the same vein we talked about banning the Ace. So very interesting setup. That does leave Azami on the board. Azami is arguably one of the best operators in the defensive meta right now, and especially for holding on to Nighthaven, that Rafters area. I think she is banned more than half the time that we see Nighthaven played out, but she's going to survive through this time. EKU going to start off with the combination of the Azami, Two-Brow, Warden, Cade to back up that Two-Brow for all that Breach Denial and the Legion. So see, heavy focus there, securing the Rafters, and you can see already working on that.
That's right, and it was a full set of six picks here on the attacking side, even though they did bring some of the same players, just changed up who was bringing it to the table. And no surprises here, right? Maverick going to be on the board. You're going to see Maverick whether you have Ace banned or not. He's just part of opening that up, creating those crossfires. And there's been times, like in the basement area, where we have seen teams neglect to bring a hard breach at all, just solely focusing on that vertical take and then the split push down both of the stairs, both EXO and on that backside. So kind of a standard setup here. We are going to see the blitz being brought back onto the board, and this is just seen it work more often than not, but it's the trade. Glug, his life forfeit on the first, and that's your intel gone, Whiskey, right out the gate.
Well, we were going to talk about this breach, right? If you don't have the Ace available, Mav, right? He's the alternative, especially here on Nighthaven, on Clubhouse. You see Maverick played often. We've seen for sure Ions as well, the friend of the Siege Double Shot, playing on that op before. But unfortunately, they open up the line, and Grim takes a couple shots and loses the gunfight to start this one off. They started aggressive. I think it was a good call at least to try and get something going here early, but that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, like you said, to get some intel on this team and slow down the pace a little bit here. And look on, they don't have a lot of like distance explosives to try and deal with some of this utility from the defense. But was that a shot across the door?
I have no idea. It is going to be the tuber out of find 2 before their life is forfeit, but the damage Whiskey has been done. It's already a 4v2, and a little bit of that silent entry from that. Use the blowtorch to break open that window. Give them a few extra seconds before any sort of engagement from below is going to happen. But it's a tough climb, right? You've got the whole defense still spread out on that 2F. You still have all of those Kiva barriers in place that are just going to make it incredibly difficult for you to find your way into sight. But that's going to be the first one. Ion's going to take it off the board, and then a shot onto a zombie.
There it is.
It's going to find a double, and that's going to equalize. All of a sudden, PFW looking a little bit better on the attack. It's 33 seconds left. Holding the angle. Going to take the shots, watching towards the window, but it's the cage sniper shotty to take Ions off the board. So Davis Red, the last alive, the lone wolf. He's got to find 2, and they're spread. Looking towards that door, looking towards the catwalk. It is smoked off, so he sees one, takes a shot, but not going to find it. What he is going to find is a Legion goo that's going to really slow him down. 10 seconds left. He's got diffuser in hand, but almost no chance to get that plant down. Going to have to go for the frags. Nope. Instead, take a shot on the pillar. This is going to be one for the defense here.
He goes for the late round defuse just to cause a little anxiety there in the defensive team, but he's going to hop off it, knowing that certainly not in a position to try and get a round win based on getting the diffuser down. But good hold there by the defense, right? They had control of top river, and as the attackers are trying to gain some control in rafters, they had that shot across the open space right through the window, right? Losing blitz in that way, that was really the turning point for that round. Seeing Purdue sort of fall apart after that. Yeah, they gained control of river back after, but just was not enough for this team to take down EKU. So the first round going to the defense upstairs on the 2F. Now we're going to see how this team is going to play the basement. And I know you talked about during layer the cap can coming out and his ability to change up the way that the attackers make the push in. So EKU assuming or hoping that Purdue Fort Wayne is going to fall into a couple of those traps, because we didn't play that on the first round, and using up a little bit of that utility.
Yeah, what am I saying about the defensive side for round number 2? It's pace, baby, and they brought out a couple of them to do it. It's Castle, my favorite operator for this defense because, right, it allows you to extend your plays here. And he's up on the first floor, which means that main garage hatch probably open for a fallback down to that where the single is, of course. So he holds up top, forces you to use all of your gadget, all of your utility to push him out of that area, and then it's all time. He's got 2 others to back him up, Captain and Legion on the board to help support this first floor hold. Now, he is going to be Maverick doing something.
He's opening up multiple sight lines to try and throw this defense off and maybe get a little bit of a shot in, but interesting, look at this. The quick hatch drop into the kitchen from that exterior hatch. There it is. It was going to be Sledge. I was wondering why Frag had brought out the Sledge again, but this is they're looking for a quick push down the stairs. They're going to drop the hatch into ATM, into vending there, and then right down the stairs. That was my guess, but no. Quick rotate, quick change up.
Yeah,
well, that looked like they had it set up and ready, yeah.
They got a call that something else was going on. So maybe open up a hole. What they're probably going to do is open up a hole, wait for the crossfire, right? Lion and Blitz drop down. They force that guy out of whatever kitchen hole he's got going on. And then it's the cross set up on that garage that's probably opened up now thanks to Sledge. He gets back up there, makes the drop, the cross is set, they take the pick. The problem is you still have 3 up there to deal with for that specifically. So if you don't find the trade early, or if you haven't sussed everybody out, then you can find yourself in a disaster location very quickly. primed, poised, ready to send it. And there it goes. It's the drop down the hatch. The line ping goes out as they start to make their push in. That's going to be the first kill as Glug gets taken off the board, but it gets traded as Ions is able to find one. The headshot onto Kovics rings out. So Dokkaby and Cade both find their life forfeit as we make the blitz down. Starting to take a look into sight here, and it's been relatively free for the most part, right? They got the call that only 2 were down there, and that's the plant starting to go down. But Blitz, he's going to get taken down by the pistol.
Distraction.
That's right. And they're going to go ahead and stick this plant, and on the back side of it, they're going to get the down onto the Legion as well. Almost a TK there that rings out, but puts us into a 4v2. Castle goes down, now into a 3v2, technically 3-3, but there's going to be Sin to find Davis off the board, takes now the lone one alive. Maverick from outside, not going to be much he can do.
Don't run, don't get in the line of fire.
Kill now. He's on pace for the ace. He's got to find 2 more. Hey, he finds the quad kill. Break out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece. He's going to the backside, and he is going to find it as they take the Maverick down. On pace for the ace, but couldn't quite get it done.
EKU finding one. The late round quick drop, the distraction from Blitz through EXO, pushing around to tank on the other side of the map, allows them to get the plant down very quickly. And boy, you're holding on to the sight lines through the main breach downstairs in assembly. But he's just running across the open holes, right? They knew exactly where the defender was playing. He could play off-site and wait for them to try and go for the defuse and then try and take a shot. Seemed a little bit rushed, and they had such a great setup there at the end that worked. And it's unfortunate they couldn't find a way to close out that round. So that's going to go 2 in favor of the defense. Purdue Fort Wayne coming very close there on round 2. Now as we head into round 3, though, we're going to play this first floor site, and that control storage is definitely the favorite again on the first floor. It's in competitive play. Seems pretty rare that we see kitchen. It's an occasional.
Yeah, that's a high risk, high reward type site, right? There is so much soft breach above the site that you can just get a fish in a barrel situation. Bring out your ram, open it up, hold, jump in through the window for your plant, and then it's Bob's your uncle. You're not retaking at that point. Unless the vertical presence is incredibly strong on the defense, which, if you're playing that site, it's going to be. So, defense breaking it out right now as they find 2. Then they're going to bring out the... basically a very similar setup here. Bandit going to be holding up top. You'll see this played out just like you would for a 2F site. Takes a shot, open it up, gets the Bandit charge off the wall. Going to make tricking just a little bit tougher now. So they've got that vertical opened up from below. What? He jumps down. He gets the down onto Deimos, but it's traded out. And they're going to be able to get Deimos back up. And there it is. That's body balance going to shift back to nobody as all of a sudden the C4 rings out and frags frag.
That's right. Losing that... the unfortunate life there to the C4. But what we did see is they got that main IT breach open. Going to make it very, very difficult for the defense to try and hold that jump in, right? So now they're going to focus on getting the warehouse double open. So they've got hard breach in all the right places, all the right sight lines opened up. So now defense, if this attacking team can get themselves in, maintain IT control, and then try and jump in here, get the plant down. Got all that utility dump happening. This is it, my friend.
That's right. Send it in. Takes a shot on the door, but Azami ready. Takes us into a 3-3 now. Minute 36 on the board as the push in from the backside happens. Moko able to take Ions off the board. Now we're into a 3v2 scenario with really just plenty of time for the defense to just really hold it out now. A couple of shots there. The pre-fire rings out through the backside of the door from the garage. It's pinged, so they've got the intel that he's there. Takes the cam down. Now makes the push in, and that's going to be Davis to take Borger off the board, and that's the plant starting to go down. And on the backside, Tommy with the double. All of a sudden, attack is ready and in. PFW primed and poised to get that first, but he's going to push in. Lomo, unstoppable, as he takes both. The cross is set up. He says, guard my back, I'm planting, and it was not there. And that's going to be, Jesus, that was a huge comeback there. Did not think it was going to be a 3-0 to start Nighthaven here.
No, definitely not. And apparently neither did Purdue Fort Wayne. They're going to take their timeout. We talked about the timeout buff a lot as part of watching Siege in general. You play the competitive landscape, and you know you got to take a timeout when you start to get down. 3 in a row It's maybe a little bit early, but when round differential counts, you can't you can't wait. You need to try and get those rounds in and hold on here really quick. So Purdue Fort Wayne says now's the time. Yeah, Iron's sitting 6-3. They had a very good run. That last round looked much closer than it actually was. And really, they've had 2 of those. So I think a good call to take a timeout because the last 2 rounds very close, but in the very end, it's EKU coming up with a win. They just haven't been able to close it out on attack yet.
Right. I think it's very important and a strategic timeout here because, like, now you've seen every site, and because it was so close, there's some room for some adaptation coming out now, right? Now we get to see what are they sit down, they talk about it, and see if they can bring something that's different, the change that's going to find them that in-round play there. So we're back into it now. 3-0 on the first part of the round rotate. We're in the second half of the first. We're in the second half of the first half of this first map. Second map.
There it is, my friend. You got it. So yeah, Lomo. He's sitting at 3-2-3, but 2 of his biggest kills there coming up at the very end. It's unfortunate that PFW had that plant just about down, and unfortunately holding the wrong angle, but maybe not realizing where Lomo was playing. But huge round from him. And look at that, 3-2, 3-3, 3-3. Very evenly balanced there on the EKU side. Very different story on Purdue Fort Wayne. All right, Ion's definitely carrying the load right now with Fragged and Glug trying to find a way to start this round off. And it's time. It is time for them to do it. We talked about this being a really important round for this Purdue Fort Wayne team. They are sitting near the bottom of the group, and it is time for them to try and see if they can get a win here versus Eastern Kentucky.
That's right. Okay, so on the attack side of it, we are going to see not really change. I mean, they didn't bring along the Maverick this time, so I guess the Flores might be the big change here, but not the changes I was really hoping to see. Right, I was maybe a little bit more dedication to open up some of that vertical buff, potentially push some of these players out of some of those critical push points that you were just talking about. So, I mean, hey, if they've got the strat, they're the ones here making the tournament. They know what they need to do off the back of that timeout. We'll see if they've got it enough to do it for this late round clutch potential.
You can hear that main breach opening up. Lion taking a couple shots there. Oh. They able to Cade trick that wall? I think they were. We didn't hear the explosion go off. Can't see how many of those exothermics that Thermite still has available. There pops up. Now he's going for it. In addition to the Thatcher, I think they're going to get it open this time. But you see that the Warden holding on to the top of the river stairs. I love seeing that.
Yeah, played out kind of how you would see that the Oregon Trench being played, right? Set up a shield and then just stand your ground. It's a very close quarter. You have to get in your face to be able to take that space. And if you can't get a Flores drone in there to push him out of there, you're going to have a tough time with a Warden shotgun there to boot. So 5-5 as we sit. It's 66 left on the board, Whiskey. We're starting to get down to crunch time.
That's right, so they did get the IT breach open. You see the drones coming in. The intel game is on. Time to try and find some of the intel, but no, unfortunate, gonna lose one. Traded at the top of the stairs. That was 3 attackers trying to make the push in, and the TK, no!
Tough off the back of a C4 that takes down Flores. Lomo going to find his life forfeit in the exchange there. As now we find ourselves into a 3-1. No chance to really get Flores back up unless they start to push out. But with only 30 seconds left, he's going to have to go for the frags, and it's all the way on the other side of the board. So this gameplay going to stand. He needs something. He needs a miracle. Look at this.
The drone will kill. Oh no,
man,
he didn't see it. Didn't go for
area, it. But he wasn't close enough to get the kill. 17 now as the clock starts to tick down. The play on Pillar as they're going to force him back into the IT area. Just really nowhere to go. He does find one looking towards the backside, but they don't have to swing. They don't have to throw bodies. It's split. You're not going to be able to take 2. Does the one. Oh, okay. I said you weren't going to be able to take 2, but he really almost just did that, right? The flip around, if he was still standing in that spot, that's a good night. That's a game over. Well, not game. Round
game,
over.
round over, and that was the one that they needed. EKU taking their 4th in a row and that's unfortunately no timeout buff. Purdue Fort Wayne again getting close, got down to the 2v1 at the end with one of the players down. Ion's doing a lot of work right now trying to carry this team, and they have not been able to find a way to make it win. Now, looking at the way that one played out, he was so close being able to vault through that wall and maybe take a shot on the player in sight, but it just wasn't fully open. Tried to open it up with the DMR, but that's a slow process. You really need a shotty to try and get that done. So just well played on the EKU side, holding, not taking any chances. Right, they didn't need to, and they followed through with some good discipline there, coming up with 4 in a row. So we talked about Purdue Fort Wayne struggling. They got 7-0'd by Cincinnati. A lot of implications for this team. They have got to find a map win, or at least a lot of round wins. Try and keep this thing very even with EKU.
That's right. So 4 in a row, not necessarily like the end-all be-all, right? We expect Nighthaven to go on that standard 4-2 split. There's nothing special about the map that says you find yourself in a 5-1 like skyscraper, right? So in 4-2, expect it. Just need to see Purdue now on the secondary site, which I think this is like one of their best chances to potentially get it done. This is where it needs to happen. 5-1 is acceptable. You got one. You head over into your defense. 4-2 is goals, right? That is the quota to hit. But anything, if you can't, man, it's getting super close to be able to tough to come back from, especially on Nighthaven.
Yeah, and we're just not seeing right now Purdue Fort Wayne able to close it out, and you got to be able to close rounds out when they get close like that to be able to have a shot at winning the map. So from the EKU side, they didn't bring out the bandits, so that's going to make it at least a little bit easier to try and get some of those the walls, those sight lines open downstairs in the basement. And Ions is just going crazy, 10-4 here, playing out on round 5, and that's not a winning score line for this team. So the rest of the squad has got to try and back him up a little bit. But like I said, a little bit easier here for this team without having the bandit, only relying on the Cade as the only breach denial that they've got in place.
That's right. If you've ever watched the Siege Double Shot before, you know that Ions is definitely a character who can get it done, but this can't be a one-off effort, right? It's got to be everybody involved. Lomo going to find the kill to take the trade there on the Tommy, and they're going to get Ions off the board. Glug to find his first kill of the game, put him into that 1-4. It's 3-3s. We're tied up. 64 left on the board as it starts to count down. Defense feeling pretty good about it. Legion Goo goes off, revealing the location. Somebody's close. Couple of shots. It's looking for the C4 from above. Not going to find it, though, as he just barely gets out of there. And now opens up that head, or opens up that vertical. Oh, my Lord. Looking for it again. Not going to find it. Just some damage done as he barely gets out of there with his life. A couple of shots as he's just keeping him occupied, right? Does get the down onto the Deimos, so now he becomes a non-factor as we find ourselves in a 3-2 with 32 left on the board. And they're going to go try to get him back up. They got to have that numbers when they go into it, but Elysian Goo going to slow it down. We're starting to get to the time here that it gets very dicey, and still a C4 on the board. Deimos does get picked up, but he's going to be able to find the kill, and that's going to give the body balance over into Purdue as they make the drop down the hatch, but it's the Cade Sniper Xavi able to find it. He gets the reload. He's going to find a second, and that's just going to be a Captain Trap to end it.
No way.
No.
That late round push, you're low health, just walking through and running when you run out of time, no opportunity there. It's exactly why you bring out the cap cam for those late round and not paying attention to it, not expecting it. EKU looking very good, for sure on the score line, right? We just have not seen Purdue find a way to show up and pull off a round win. They did get the opening pick finally on that round, but unfortunately could not convert. So best opportunity here. Going to see the defense go back to that first floor storage and control site. So they got themselves set up on the previous play back on round 3. They had vertical control. They had IT open. But losing 2 to the window early was a big piece of their downfall, and then just not being able to hold on. So they got the plant down. We were holding the wrong angle at the very end of the round. So best opportunity. Purdue, it is time. We're going to see a 5-1 half we're going to see a 6-0 run from EKU.
Man, tough position to find yourself in, right? And here's the thing, EKU is just firing on all cylinders as far as the team aspect goes, right? There is no standout here. Everybody very close. You can tell that the communication is incredibly proficient here with EKUs. They all sit like right around within one of each other as far as kills go. On the other side of it, I am still kind of just being that standout. Gonna need a little bit of assistance here as they start to make their way in. They're going for that breach. They're gonna start opening up with the quickness here. No bandit there to help stop that breach up top on the 2F to be done.
Glug and Fragturgy, they both picked up one on that previous round, so it's time. They're making it happen. Holding on like a big hold upstairs, the hallmark of the first floor sites. We've seen basically all of the big 3-floor maps transition to, some of a lot of play on the first floor because there's so much vertical above that can be held on the defensive side. So here it is now, using the ram to open up that vertical space. We talked about it. They've got control, or at least a little bit of control of IT. Still have to worry about the bandit, though, continuing to play in the server side, so they've got to get rid of him. I wonder if that's going to be a priority for the Deimos coming up.
It has to be, because you've got still 2 up top, right? That vertical hold just
that's
being
the plant
absolutely...
going down.
No way! He's just going to get in and just say, whatever, we're going to take it. Ions to take Moko off the board. They did get the plant, so it's a post-plant scenario and a classic retake here for the defense to be able to get over. They're just caught off guard. Glug going to take Kovics off the board, but does get traded out now. Puts us into a 3-2. All of the pressure now onto the Bandit, who does not have a C4, and of course the Legion, who's still holding on to that 2F location. 1 HP for Ashes. We find ourselves in the back side of it. A shotgun to take them out. Tommy to answer back onto Sin. Now 10 seconds left to be able to get a defuse started.
There it is.
Yeah. That's going to be just incredibly tough. Deimos going to be able to spot out wherever this bandit is. So the vertical from down below and the shotgun and the vertical from up top, there's just going to be no chance to be able to get this. That's going to be Purdue finding their first.
There it is. Best opportunity. And again, they execute that strategy really well. Gain control of IT up above. And then the literal 3-floor vertical hold from that team coming out and being successful. Deimos downstairs in the basement, plus players upstairs on the 2F holding in IT. Well executed from that team. Almost a little bit surprising that the diffuser got down as we were focused on some of the action back on the control side. So there it is. They got one. It's a 5-1 half we talked about. The comeback is on. Now, if you're an EKU fan, you want to see them close this out. Right now, they're at a 4-round differential, hoping to get to that big 6 round if they can figure out how to pull it off. But question is, who's it going to be now? We're going to get our first chance to see Purdue Fort Wayne set up upstairs for the 2F hold. Again, that combination of the Azami and Tubarão Cade appears to be that core lineup of defense on Nighthaven.
Listen, if I'm Purdue, I'm a little bit worried about trying to defend against an attack team that's communicating so well, right? That is so spread out. I mean, so defense, yes, you can get your W's, you can get your standard 4, you can even, if you're having a good game, get your 5th. On the attack side of it, if you have got that communication, if you've got that camaraderie, if you've got that togetherness, that synchronicity, then you're going to be very successful on almost any map outside of even maybe like Skyscraper, where even the worst players can find a W on the defense.
Even the worst. No, man, there's still some skill involved in this game. They got to find a way to make it work, but who's it going to be here? So far, from what we're seeing on the EKU side, right, pretty standard. Using the Mav, try and open up this wall, although rather than the way we saw PFW play it was, they were playing at a much more like, open up some holes, take some shots, rather than focusing on the Mav as a hard breach alternative. So they've got that wall now, the reinforcement done. Now it's time to try and get that open and put pressure on Azami, who is, as expected, holding in the rafters area. That'll hopefully allow the Blitz to try and make that push in, either from, oh yeah, there he is. He's going to go top river as soon as they can get the Azami out, because they got to watch out for the window on rafters.
That's right, and can be a bit of a tough play. I'm surprised we didn't see the C4 attempt on the Maverick going for the big open, right? I mean, that's kind of the standard. That's why he kept backing up, is because he's expecting that C4 to go through. Now, it does save it for some sort of late round shenanigans potentially. What I love here is the blitz, poised like a cobra. He is ready for that 3-2-1 go thing, but just having kind of a tough time getting this breach open, or what?
Yeah, they didn't relying on the Flores to try and open up that site, but he wasn't in place, and they were using the DMR to try and crack it open. But that was the blitz taking down one, getting that opening frag there on Davis Red. Unfortunate the Cade's going to go down. His utility a little bit passive, but it feels like that's an early use of the Dokkaebi in this situation. You know where all the defenders are basically playing. Use it to try and cut off some of those lines of sight maybe a little bit later in the round, but they're making this push in right now. Blitz leading that charge, backing up from the rest of this attacking team with 35 seconds left.
That's right. The spearhead, as Yali would say, is going to find themselves the down onto the Tubarao, who is a huge player. Pistol popping, body dropping. As Blitz is going to be able to find one, but it gets answered back. Ions, the hero of the round, finds one. Ions finds two. Now into a 3v2. Defense feeling pretty good about this last 15 seconds. This is going to take Flores off the board, and Ions to find a triple. Just feed them and let them eat. It's the comeback here by Purdue as they find themselves their first on the defense, even after losing that entry.
All right, so we've seen them win when losing the entry and lose when winning the entry. So they've got both ways covered. But what for sure we've seen is them win 2 in a row now. Maybe that's just enough momentum again to get this team going. Maybe they feel better on the defensive side of Nighthaven. So again, if you're an EKU fan looking to try and find a way to shut this thing down quickly, Ions though 15-6-1. Yeah, you've got Frag struggling, but some individual heroics coming out, keeping this team alive. So I'd like to see the rest of that team step up and try and support. And this could be a Purdue team to be reckoned with. Maybe a resurgence after that first round they struggled.
Yeah, and like, it's not maybe. Like, they have to. Ions can drop a 20 bomb and still lose the map, and they're close to doing that on this 5-2. But they're on the defensive side of it. The fun part, Ions going to take himself onto that Solus role, which we don't get to see very often, right? That is not a player after the nerf that gets brought out. And like, the impactfulness of a Solus is still huge. You can still see where that push is coming. If you're bringing that blitz, it's going to be the shotgun from underneath to really slow down that push. Especially, you saw them all kind of combine together in that IT area. If you got a Solus underneath with a shotgun, you're putting some damage up, and then it's a low health scenario and an easy swing from the catwalk. So I like the switch up here by the defense. Couple it with that Fenrir, which is going to take away those sight lines and slow its pace. That's what we're looking at here. Fenrir, Solus, Castle, these are all operators that really are just going to try to slow your game down.
Tommy going to take the first, so they find an opening frag here, and that's the buck. So a big piece of that vertical is going to be missing, but you know they still have got the Jackal. So the heavy investment in the roam game, rather investment in the hard breach. That's going to be the focus. We talked about we've seen teams be very successful attacking the basement site even without the hard breach, right? Just focus on the vertical, but that's it. Losing the buck means I think that they're going to have to very much focus on direct engagements and relying on the roam clear from both of those ops, the Dokkaebi and the Jackal, to try and find it. But they're just seeing seems a little bit uncoordinated right now, but we still got more than half this round left.
Ions with another kill. Glug gonna get taken down in the trade as Lomo starts to make a name for themselves. 7-6. The body balance is in favor of Purdue here for this last minute and 30, but Ions just can't be stopped. He's finding the kills everywhere. He's forcing these engagements, and now, because of that, they're sitting up in the body balance in a big way. Frag to find one, Ions to find another one. Give Frag the double, taking Lomo off the board. You said he needed to come alive. Well, Frag, living up to his namesake, he's gonna find 2.
And perfect timing as well as that flash comes out. I think you would have lost that, and very much of a different ending to that round. But now Purdue Fort Wayne 3 in a row on this climb back. 5-3 as we head into round 9. Again, the best opportunity we talked about in the first half of the map, the first floor control storage. Now it's EKU's opportunity to try and take down this resurgent defense team on that best site. So what did this Purdue Fort Wayne team bring to try and hold it down? Scopos, right? We didn't get to see Scopos on layer because she was banned out. A little bit unfortunate. Love to see how the competitive players are using her, right? If you're bringing out Scopos in competitive play, you've got a strat in place about how and where the idol shell is supposed to be used. And I just want to see more of that in play.
Yeah, here's what the fun part is those player interactions, those combo moves between them. Scopos and Mute go together like peanut butter and bacon, right? I mean, they are just so they're just so good together. You can put the Scopos...
Peanut butter and bacon?
Hey, my wife loved it when she was pregnant. I don't know. I heard it's good. So you get the Mute Jammer, you put it down where the Scopos, your secondary, is going to be playing. What does that do? That takes away your ability to get the Flores,
Wow.
any sort of intel being brought around by the Twitch, and forces any of those electronic uses towards the Scopos to be null and void. You got to get in with some explosives. So I like the combo move. Grim going to be taken off the board first. It was Lomo, the hero of the last couple of rounds, to find that first death as the defense up in the body balance.
That's right, and Ions 18-6. They still have got, if they were going to win this map another 4 rounds, or EKU, if they're going to win it at least another 2. And he's already sitting at 18. You said 20. 20 might be an underestimate at this point, but EKU working. There they go. Got that opening done. Same exact kind of strat we talked about from this team as well. Gain control of IT. Gain control of that second floor. They don't have nearly as much investment in trying to hold down the basement, though, as we saw that be successful for the PFW team. So that may be an opportunity or a weakness that that PFW can exploit here from the Eastern Kentucky side. Or, yeah, like you said, opportunity. Maybe make that change up, put a little bit of pressure from downstairs.
Jeez, Frank.
Shotgun to the face.
Starting to come alive. It's the soulless play. Now, Bandit does get taken down, so if they find the kill, that's going to be a huge one. But Moko to take fragged off the board, and that's going to be Ions taken down, and now puts us into a 3-2. As both of the kind of heroes of the last couple of rounds for Purdue have been taken up, but the damage has been done. The body balance sits heavily now in favor of Purdue because the time starting to tick down and the health in the hands of Thermite. It's 34 HP. It's only going to take a few bullets to take this man down.
Well, you've got the Thatcher Thermite combo upstairs playing on 2F, but they got to make their way back down. 1 minute left at the first floor. We got the bomb site hanging out downstairs. So Moko going crazy, but going to get dropped by Tommy. Quickly traded out, though, so now a 1v2. Thatcher does have that, but, of course, now the defense knows exactly where he is. He's trying to make that push down the lobby stairs and trying to cross over to the other side of the map. Whether he's going to go through kitchen, but he's just looking everywhere. He's got no idea where the defense is. No roam clear, and my guess is a little bit of limited intel there on the attackers, even from his friends on the cams.
That's right. He's just getting spotted out on every single one of them. If he pulls this back, I'm going to yell, right? 17 HP. This is a lost scenario for Thatcher as he got 16 seconds to get in. Now, it is kind of spread out, so he could get a plant going down and force that retake scenario. Takes it to 50 to 75. Is he going to stick it? No, he's not. Glug's going to clean it up as the body shot's going to ring out, and that's going to get us a little bit closer to tying this bad boy up.
I think, honestly, I think that was a bit of a mistake. I mean, I think EKU, right, he had enough time to get that diffuser down. Purdue Fort Wayne did not push as quickly as they needed to try and stop that mid-plant. He was going to be able to get that diffuser down before Warden was able to get in a position to kill him during the plant. So to hop off and then take the engagement in sort of a rush scenario where you've got a defender holding an angle, I feel like that was a bit of a mistake, and they could have possibly pushed that, found another round win. But, geez, my friend, 4 in a row for PFW. This, like we said, the resurgent team.
Okay, one away from tying this bad boy up. That's exactly what we want here for the Butler land, right? We want the storylines. Now, the teams don't want it. It's round differentials that are going to make the difference here. But for us, this is the spectacle. This is the story. This is the miracle as the comeback has started happening. It's 3 in a row that they've found. Now, albeit it's on defense, right? So this is going to be kind of, well, I mean, they found one on each round. So it's kind of a similar scenario on the back side of it. It's now putting EKU kind of giving them the necessity to find the round win and put it on match point and get it close, or it's going to start to run away.
Right, and in a round differential game, and to be honest, this is the worst thing that could happen to PFW, going down 5 early, right? That means the best that they could do is a 7-5 victory with a +2. They were sitting at a -10 before the previous map, so they really needed to see more rounds in this case. But if they're able to hang on and not lose anymore, or maybe get themselves in that 7-5, like you said, +2 is the best they can do. Right now, I think EKU is sort of winning that battle, winning the round differential battle. So Purdue Fort Wayne has got to do everything they can to shut it down and slow this team down, and I think gain a little bit of confidence going into round 3. That's the next big piece. Right? They still have got 2 more games that they're going to try and get done here today for the first half of this matchup. We got the second set of teams are going to be coming in after that lunch break.
Yeah, AO.
Let's go.
Okay, one apiece. Blitz getting taken down. Warden gonna follow him. Means we're gonna be sitting at a 4-4. It's the last minute and 37 starts to count down. It starts to get a little bit of the pressure on here for EKU because the time is dwindling, the score difference is dwindling, the player count is dwindling. Like they need to get that momentum back in their favor, or Purdue gonna really start feeling themselves. And if you can see Ions, if he starts feeling himself, he's gonna start eating. That's for sure. 5-4, minute and 14, tied up on the score line or on the body balance. See how it plays out.
Watching this attacking team try and gain control. You've got the Mav. They've got a little bit in warehouse, but still focused on the first floor. Right there, it's looking very one-dimensional. They're pushing up the warehouse, and unfortunately going to lose Glug on the defensive side. But that just felt very one-dimensional push up. And Ions, there it is, found the 20 on round 10. Look, he's using the Mav through the Kiba barrier.
I love it. It'll take it down, but he's ready. He's waiting. He can hear him too, so he thinks it's coming up the backside. There's going to be the shots on the Maverick as he is coming up that backside. So the flank was in place, and then the cross from the other side. They are just stacked up, leapfrogged. Now it's going to be Grim to find his life forfeit as he goes down. Mav, the last alive. Whiskey, he's got to bring it to the table, but it's going to be a shotgun. Break the 20 bomb. Ions on the double, and is that going to tie us up? Did we just get tied up right now?
We did. Round 10 over and done with, tied up between these two teams. Holy cow, 5-5. Unbelievable run here from both of these teams, right? We talk about the pendulum swinging back and forth. EKU goes 5 in a row to start it off. They're looking unstoppable. They look like this is the team to beat. And Purdue Fort Wayne is struggling, can't figure out what they needed to get done. But what an unbelievable turn of events. PFW swinging back 5 in a row on their side, on the back of some individual heroics there from Ions, but backed up by a cast of characters that has definitely helped. We talked about EKU being very balanced, everybody contributing, but not able to find some wins here on the attacking side. Really struggling on Nighthaven to get anything going. This has been a defensive-sided map, like completely, my friend. Only 1 attacking win found out of 10 so far.
Yeah, and I don't think that Osa's going to be the play here either. Okay, there you go. There's the 6 pick off of it. Osa just not a very good operator, right? Very niche, very specific in the areas in which you should be bringing them. Nighthaven, not the case, right? So we see Ions put himself back onto the Solus here, and it's the same setup that we saw before. It's going to be that dedicated roam game. Look at that! Almost finds one. Fenrir getting taken down to that 8 HP is I don't know what was ringing out to try and do some damage on him. Must have been that Dokkaebi DMR from the sounds of it. Oh!
Don't get cocky. Don't do it, my friend. Boy, that was seeing Frag getting cocky, taking the spawn peak, losing 8. Yeah, we see, and then Ions. He makes the jump out. Yes, he gets 23, but loses himself in the process. Whether or not, obviously that's demonstrating a level of confidence in this team that they can try and win some of those 1v1 engagements. But, there's really no need to throw bodies away. You're tied up 5-5. The attack team has definitely struggled. And, giving them taking down the top frag, I think that could give this EKU team a little bit of a confidence boost going into what is the second half of this round.
Oh, look at this. Blitz inside this first floor area, taking down some gadgetry here. That's going to be a Fenrir. Getting taken down. So we do sit one apiece taken down, and the health definitely sits in favor of the attack side here. But look at this. Blitz definitely give his location away when that Fenrir gadget goes off. So they now know he's there, which means there could be a C4 that comes up to greet him should he push in.
That's right. You still have got to. He's standing on a fully breachable floor, but nobody from the defense in position to try and take advantage of that information or put some pressure from down below. They are getting a lot of intel on the attacking side, but everybody on the defense bunkered it back down, holding on to this. I was going to say onto the basement, but getting ready for the Animus drop. And there it is. Both of them down. In shotgun to the face, though.
Didn't find it. That's going to be Sin to take Tommy off the board, and that's going to be the body bounce now. Switched in favor of nobody, but that's going to be Fenrir getting taken down as the plant. Whiskey, it's going down, and now looking at a match point potential scenario as Mute has got to get the climb back, the retake back down. He's got the vertical, needs one before he can drop, or he's going to be dropping into absolute chaos. There's the bees going out. He's going to push all the way around. Going to take the scenic route, thinking that somebody's going to be coming up the stairs to make that play. But unfortunate, this is just a lost scenario. EKU is going to find the W. Kolvik's going to make sure that they have it. It's Glugs to get his head ripped off. As now we find ourselves on that coveted match point scenario.
That's right, match point, my friend. EKU taking on PFW. So now, where are we at? One more opportunity for PFW to try and hold on and send this thing into overtime, but they have absolutely done their job from a round differential standpoint. They didn't do what they had to do, which was gain a bunch here in this game, but they didn't fall further behind by holding on and getting almost to that match point scenario. So this was honestly not a terrible result for this team. EKU, I think, was hoping to try and put something together, playing the team that had struggled all day today to try and boost their chances, because as you go into the seeded playoffs tomorrow, the number 4 is going to play the number 1s, and the number 1s, like Cincy, who are looking incredible right now, they are really going to struggle against a team that was playing so well together. So trying to find at least bump their way up out of that 4 into a 3 seed. So a lot of pressure on the EKU team now to try and close this one out and gain a double rather than forcing it to go into OT. But that's what we want to see Purdue Fort Wayne do, at least from a win perspective, right? Even if they can't gain the round differential, I think they want to see the win come out.
I mean, right? That's what we're here for, the W. Gotta get it no matter what, even if it's not going to be your ideal scenario. So what are they going to do on the defense? They are going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to take it all the way down to the tank assembly area, and this time we're going to see Ions put himself on Oryx, right? Fastest, both horizontally and vertically, to traverse such a huge map. This is a fun strat to bring out because he can just cover everywhere. The push gets called out, he can come on the backside for the flank, and he's really just playing life. He's playing life, and he's playing time.
It's matching some of the energy you get with the blitz, and interesting that that Borger's going to bring out the Osa again. I know you talked about that being a bit of a bad pick, and look at this. They're making the push down the river stairs, but really no flank watch in place. You got nobody from the defense upstairs on the 2F, and maybe they had enough of that information that they didn't need to worry about it. They're going to go ahead and take this fight on the first floor. Ions and Frags showing up when they need to. Boy, it's a 4v3 with a minute 41 left, and holy cow, evened up again. EKU not ready to go down.
Okay, so 3-3. Now they find themselves half the round gone. What started out looking really strong for the defense just got ripped away immediately. So in this match point scenario, Ion sitting at that 24-8. And Frag, wasn't he at like 0 kills like 2 or 3 rounds ago? He has just absolutely turned it up here, and that's exactly what this Purdue defense needed. They needed that camaraderie. They needed that teamwork. So 3-3. You're going to start to see the joke B call go out. They're going to take Blitz off the board. Ion's just not to be stopped. Lomo on the answer back, though, as he's going to find the headshot. They start to push in towards the backside. No diffuser in hand, so the defense really going to start to put the pressure on as they rotate themselves all the way back down to site. 48 seconds left, and they're just going to stall now. That's all you need.
Well, yeah, you're seeing EKU. They're worried about where the defense is playing. They're not looking like they're confident that they've got first floor control. They're not confident they've got second floor control. I mean, you've got the Oryx who can make the hatch jump up, and I think that is a huge worry for this team. So they're walking around trying to clear utility, but you've only got 20 seconds left. 20-second meta in full effect, and no, gonna go for the Dokkaebi hack this late?
It's high risk, high reward.
My friend.
Yeah, potentially. If they get the intel, if you see the ping come out, then it's goated and it's good. But with 8 seconds, looking towards the backside, that's going to be Davis to find one on the Borger, and they're coming in towards it. Ions to keep collecting kills. This man is having a highlight of a game. Put that man on a reel.
Real indeed. We are going to overtime, my friend. 6-6. PFW has come back in a huge way after a dominant first half from EKU. I'm glad we're bringing up the scoreboard because, man, what a round. What a round back and forth between these guys. 5 in a row, then a little bit balanced, but Ion sitting at 26-8-2. Having an unbelievable game. Showing up exactly when they needed to. Unfortunately, from a round differential perspective, this game is not going to be huge for either of these two teams. Now it's all about the ego, right? Who can pull up the round to win? I think that's the most important thing at this point. We're going to have 2 more rounds at least to figure out which of these 2 great teams it's going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, and like, you're right, ego is going to be the big part of it. If you're EKU, and somebody drops 30 kills and loses the game, I mean, that's heartbreaking, right? That is absolutely heartbreaking, and Ions is on pace to do it. He's on pace to drop a 30 bomb. We still have 2 more rounds to play. If he finds 2 kills, which is highly likely, we're going to be seeing that, and that's going to be shut down. You know what? Maybe I'll just caster curse him off the board. That's what I'll do. Ions, sit down. I talked about you too much. You're off the board. That's the frag leader, and that is a tough situation for Purdue.
Now, the thing that Purdue's got going for them is, right, you're starting off on defense. We talked about how difficult it is. We've only seen 2 attacking wins out of 12 so far. So, 2 attacking wins. That makes it a really tough place for EKU to try and get going, right? They've got both of the attacking side here to try and make the win, and PFW can hold on just a little bit longer, even without the top frag, even without Ions there holding it down. She's right. The frost mats, the defensive utility is down. It's passive, so at least they're not losing something active like the Kiba barriers in place on the warehouse. So that's a piece that this defensive team has got going for them. Minute 50 left, plenty of time. We start to see a little utility dump in as this attacking team tries to gain some control in through IT.
Yeah, one of the problems, though, you lost your Ying, no Candelas for that late round, and that could prove to be the difference maker, especially because there was no Warden on the other side of it. So if you're getting that Ying in early, then you're going to find yourself, or if you're getting them dead early, then you're going to find yourself in a better situation because you don't have the utility, the gadgetry to back that up. So 4-4 we sit, and as the blitz starts to make his way in from IT, looking towards that backside of that pillar, where of course there's going to be somebody sitting. The cross is set up here. The opponent jumps out. That's huge. They're going to take the run out, but not going to find anything. We still sit 4-4. So Legion Gu on to Grim here. It's a minute left, and they're starting to put the pressure on now.
It felt like this attacking team had gained more map control than we had typically seen this early in the game, this early in the round on most of these 2F sites. You can see all those blue outlines. They've got a lot of horizontal control, but the angles still being held by this defensive squad, and the Kibas still able to close off some of these sight lines and fragged. What a huge one there coming out. 30 seconds left, my friend.
Yep, finds a double on the backside, taking him up to that 10-7. Yeah, Blitz went down to the C4. So all of the pressure now on Flores. He's not going to be able to get the Blitz back up because he's on the other side of the site. So all of the work, all of the pressure now sitting onto Flores. He makes his way in. He's going to find 9 seconds left. Takes a pre-fire towards the backside, but not going to find it. Does have the case, so he can get the plant, but not going to be the case. Davis going to find himself the double on the down Blitz, and the shots on Flores. Okay, so there we find it. We're on that match point scenario now. Round 14. Do they put it away?
Well, okay. If you said statistically, the way that this has gone, we've seen only 2 attacking rounds again out of 13 at this point. So PFW has got their work cut out for them. They've got to try and find an attacking win, and they only found one. That was back the last time we saw an attacking win for this team, back on round 6. It was the first floor site in control and storage. So EKU going to take it upstairs to the 2F. 2F has been very successful for the defense. So this is looking like a good opportunity for EKU, but that means is if EKU can find it on defense, Purdue Fort Wayne is going to get defense back for round 15. So obviously EKU is going to have to win here on defense, but again, if you're PFW, this is the opportunity, right? You can pick up a 2-round differential. It's like we're back on round 10 trying to go for that match point scenario. So they've got the opportunity. The best they can do at this point, 2 rounds, but the ego check, they've got to win it either way.
That's the truth. Okay, so attack, what are they going to bring to the table? How do they switch it up? We're going to see the Deimos being brought out, and that's going to be huge, right? That's going to get rid of, potentially, if he stays alive. Last time we saw Deimos, he was off the board like that, right? He was taken out. Goodbye, sayonara, see you later. Not to be an impactful player. Oh, Jesus. Except for when the plant went down inside of that control storage area.
Ion's the one-man breaching crew almost takes himself out with a nade. That would have added to the interesting kill line that we've seen. We've seen the self C4, the self-impact, and the TK. I mean, you might as well add a frag grenade to it and just round out the 4-piece. Not going to see it on this round, though, as you got this defensive lineup holding on very hard here to 2F. No roam. Not even really the shallow down below. Everybody upstairs on the 2F holding on. Some of the sight lines already in place for this attacking team, but not enough map control yet to really feel comfortable.
Man takes a shot, but he's going to miss it. As the whip comes through, it's a double shotgun.
Wow.
Tommy and Frag getting taken down, and that was absolutely huge. The body balance now sitting in favor of the defense in a heavy way.
No way.
As Moko's on the triple kill, now on pace for the ace. It's going to be Polvix to, what, a frag kill? A grenade kill followed up with a C4 kill? So you spoke it, it existed, and now it's a 1v4. Now, if anybody could do it, Ions could do it.
27, 9, and 3. You know what, though? I don't want to set the expectations too high, though. 1v4, it would be an insane performance from anybody at this point. So can he pull it off? Is he the guy? We're about to find out, but no nade left, right? He used one downstairs in the basement, one to get that kill, so he made good use of that utility. He still does have 2 drones left, but he's not going to use either of them, I think, in this case, because it's going to give away his position, right? You really need to use those in conjunction with the rest of your attacking team to be able to try and give them information. Too dangerous for him to try and use that utility. He's going to pick up the diffuser, though, so if he's got an option and 40 seconds left, giving away his position.
Looking for it, looking for some toes there.
No
Not
way.
going to be able to find anything just yet. Look at that.
Yeah,
No, you
what?
didn't. No, you didn't, Ions. You're just, that's rude. That man has a family, and you're going to do him like that. now finds himself 2 away from that potential 30 bomb
No
here.
way.
Time started to tick away, though, right? 15 seconds left for him to make the push in. Gonna find it, almost finds it onto the Azami, but Lomo able to secure that round. We're here. We're going the full distance, Whiskey. It needed every single round to get this one done, and you couldn't ask for a better game.
Double OT, 7-7. Here it is, my friend. Round 15. Boy, it was all EKU to start. PFW came back in a huge way, and then it has been back and forth battle at the end of this map to try and find out who is going to be the one to take it down. Unbelievable game from Ions, 28-10-3. But EKU staying in it. You know, like they didn't lose any of their mental after they lost 5 in a row as well. They came back, held on, and here we are, double OT.
Double OT, needed every single round to get it done. And yeah, there's some great score lines on here, right? It's very what we talked about earlier, where it was very like spread out as far as who's getting the kills. Everybody on the side of EKU being one of those powerhouse players, right? Impactful at the time that it really matters. On the other side, 28-10. I mean, that the guy is almost on a 3.0 KD at 30 kills, and that is insane. That's insane.
You can't rely on those individual heroics though to carry this team forward. Although
maybe you can.
Maybe you can.
Maybe you can.
We're about to find out.
We're heading into their defensive side on Nighthaven in double OT. If ever there was a time that individual heroics could win a game, this is 100% it.
Yeah, that's right. Back to the basement as well, and the basement has been incredible again for the defensive side, with the exception of I think it was round 11 that they did actually play basement, and EKU won it on a PFW defense. So this is the opportunity for them. They can find a win here. Not going to go that first floor site, because that's definitely I think the weaker site, but EKU did find a way to win on the basement. So that's the question is, can Purdue Fort Wayne adapt to what they saw back on round 11, make the update, and then come up with a win? They're going to bring out the Scopos, Ions on the Scopos again. Double life. He's going to have 2 of those shells available to try and hold out. And this EKU team, boy, they're sticking with the lineup they love. That combination of the OSA and the Blitz, Thatcher Thermite, going to work on getting these sight lines and pathways open in the basement to start, and already early, 22 minutes, 30 seconds. They're going to have this open pretty quick.
That's right. I'm not going to hate you if it works, but I'm definitely going to talk about it if it doesn't. The OSA coming out again. It's okay. We'll see. Let's see if it pays off, plays off. They're going to get that single opened up just about immediately. And I got to say, Scopos, right? Ions on the Scopos. The potential to come in on the flank could be the key here for Purdue to find that end round win.
They're going for a rush, though.
Yeah, they got
the Animus rush.
They got to. So they're setting up top here. I believe waiting for that hatch play to get dropped back down because they are facilitating that extension. They've got 2 people up top. This would be a tough one for a rush to get in. So that's going to be the first kill. Ion's going to do it. 1 away from that 30 bomb as he takes Lomo off the board. The frag leader from the other side, but Blitz still here. Blitz still active. We're going to get the smokes going down. So a turtle plant, but no. Blitz going to get taken down, which means they're not going to get the plant in place unless Thermite is able to do it. There's the switch onto the Scopos. Now we find ourselves in a 5v3.
Oh, we got the hatch drop.
Oh, my lord, but they got the plant, and that's going to be the double going down. Ions broke the 30 bomb. Now puts himself into a 3v1. Purdue gonna try to take it all the way, and they're gonna do it off the back of Ions actually cresting that 30 kill mark. Finn gonna take Ions down, so going for the defuse now. Potentially got to get it done. It's the up top. They're gonna find it.
What?
Purdue is gonna do it. They're gonna come all the way back. They're going to come all the way back off the back of some absolutely nutty, absolutely insane gameplay from Ions, who just did what he had to do. We said individual heroics will not win you a game. Well, words, let me eat you, because 100% that's what happened here.
Wow, what a great game. Yeah, fantastic game coming out there from this Purdue Fort Wayne team. We talked about them struggling at the kickoff. Really unfortunate that they had a tough start to the day, but when they needed to here on this second round of games, they came up strong. EKU, I mean, Eastern Kentucky put up a hell of a fight, though, taking it all the way to double OT, but it was the defense on Nighthaven that ended up being the difference maker. We only saw 2 attacking round wins there. Great game from both of these teams. I hate it when you get all the way to the end, only one team can win it, but GG's to to this Purdue Fort Wayne team.
Huge. Absolutely huge. What a game, and what a game for all of us to watch together. Just want to say a special shout out and thank you for Butler for putting this LAN on. It has already been absolutely huge, an absolute blast. And of course, thank you to the viewers for hanging out with us, letting us do what we love to do, and that's talk about Siege. What a freaking game. So what we're going to do now, we're going to, you know the vibes, you know the deal. We're going to bring up to the desk to talk about it, give you the who, what, when, where, why, and how of what exactly just went down. And you know they're itching to talk about what we just saw. All right, folks, sit back, relax, because when we come back, we're going to chat about it. Ayo.
Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody, at Butler R6 Invitational, the movie. We got a cinematic masterpiece right next to me, Ions. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, especially after watching that masterclass of a performance. It started off great, let's be completely honest, but what kind of made you unlock that sixth sense in you?
So at first, I don't think we were playing bad Siege. I think it came down to the little things. And so after when I went and called the timeout in the third or fourth round, I believe, I explained to everybody what we're doing wrong, that we are having a lot of just aggression that's just not needed. We're on land. Hold an angle. Sit still. These guys are not good. They're not better than us. We just 7-0'd them on Sky. We should not be down like 0-3, 0-4, whatever to these guys, with all due respect to them. After that, the team started playing a little bit better. We did lose the next 2 attacks, I believe, but we ended up winning our last one, which is all that matters. We got our 1. That's all we needed was our 1. And then after that, we took on our defenses, which we're confident in, and I trusted my teammates to make plays, and they trusted me a whole lot more to make better plays. So I love my teammates. Shout out to my teammates. Thank you for them.
I mean, you can talk about your teammates all you want, but you were kind of a bit of a one-man army. How many kills exactly? I know you went over 30, but...
I believe it was 30 on the dot. It could have been 31, but I believe it was 30 on the dot.
30 on the... How are you feeling on that?
Good. I mean, what else am I supposed to feel like? I feel great. I'm upset that the game was that close. I have to get to 30 kills. I wish I could have got to 20 and we won 7-5 or something like that, but I'm definitely happy. It's a career high for me. My teammates, last round, I'm going to highlight this. It was 3 versus 1. We stopped their execute. I go to retake the vert because we know this guy's holding the aim hatch. This guy's holding a deep long angle from like mud door. I died 2 versus 1. They clutched it out. So they're the real heroes. Without them, we wouldn't have won the game. We didn't want to finish out the game. So I want to shout out Jackson. I want to shout out Davis. Thank you guys.
Hell yeah. And we'll kind of talk about more you specifically outside of this. First LAN, right?
Yes, it is my first LAN.
How does it feel?
It feels good. Definitely felt good when I have 30 people around my monitor watch me play. I could feel the energy. I could feel the hype. The crowd was there, like the 6-man, right? So it felt good. It's definitely a whole other experience, but I'd like to make a point that Nix, I am not a LAN fraud, just so he knows.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully you'll be able to see him face to face soon enough, wherever he is right now.
Yes.
Hurry up and get over to the venue next.
Yes.
But yeah, like kind of like, what do you? I guess coming into this, how is like Purdue Fort Wayne like vibes wise? I know the season has been ups and downs for you so far.
Well, our vibes are great. We're a brotherhood and we love each other. These guys are like my actual friends. We don't just pull up to games and like hate each other. We love each other. We're friends. Those are all my brothers. I'd do anything for them. Yes, we've had ups and downs. We've had some embarrassing losses. I'm not going to name the teams who, but we have teams that we should not have lost to that we lost to. We've had some good wins. We beat Ohio State. It's probably one of our best wins right now. We've had close games against other good teams, like during CR6 Open Quals, we lost 5-7 to Purdue, and they're doing all right. So we've had a lot of close games, and that game was with a sub. We're doing really good. We've had ups and downs, but I'm ready for playoffs.
You're ready for playoffs?
That's what I'm going to see everybody's playoffs, because they can talk all they want in the regular season, but I'll see them in playoffs.
What do you think? What do you think of the format?
The format? I think it's solid. I don't hate it. Maybe some tweaks that could be improved, but other than that, not too bad, no.
where do you project yourself placing? I mean, especially with all this now momentum behind you, the people, your skill. What are you thinking?
Running Butler, correct?
Yeah.
I think we place top 8 for sure. Goal is top 4. But there's some Titans out there. You know, UC solid, Purdue solid, Akron solid, UMBC, St. Clair. There's really good teams. I think we can beat some of them, but I mean, we just have to see them in the lobby, right?
Yeah.
I won't know until I play them. So.
And kind of close out with all those names you just put out there. Who's someone you really want to face right now?
Really want to face?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't not say I want Purdue.
Yeah. Ooh.
I want Purdue.
Regional
I want Purdue,
beef.
Maine.
Yeah.
I want Purdue, Maine. I
Oh.
love those guys, but if there's anybody I want to play, it's them. I love seeing them in playoffs.
Hopefully you meet them in bracket. And well, I guess this kind of wraps it up for you and me. And well, I'll let you go back to your team. I always see some celebrations do. Maybe help yourself to the food stands. The pretzels are quite nice.
Oh, are they?
Oh,
I'll try them.
They're like nice and big. $5.
Only
Hell
$5?
Yeah, only 5.
I'll be there in a second.
Yes. Didn't your coach say he's gonna buy you pretzels if you guys won?
Maybe. I don't know.
Were you locked?
I was too locked to even know. So if there's pretzels out there for me, I'm out there here in a second. So,
All right, then I'll let you get to it. Then.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
thank
much.
you, thank
Ryan. Yeah.
thank you guys.
Have a good one, man.
You too. Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. And well, interview done. Now smoking Yali right next to me again. And what a map, guys.
Yeah, I mean, where do I even begin? Right? I mean, 5-1 down, watching it out back with everybody else. There's not really much to break down. It was so simple. They take the attack timeout. Yeah, they get their one attack, and then the side swap. They just absolutely start rolling. There's not really much in terms of me to break down.
Mm-hmm.
But for Yali,
Any thoughts?
she's got some words for sure.
Oh yeah, I've got some words. Obviously this is Nighthaven Labs. At this point, it's been in the map pool for a little while, so it's nothing new to us. But what I do want to break down is that Nighthaven Labs is a map that you have to have 2 lanes on as an attacker in order to be successful. There are no exceptions to that, and in this game, that held completely true. First of all, for PFW on their attacking half, they struggled a lot to maintain 2 lanes, but every time they did, they got the plant down. Those 2 rounds that they did, being round 2, attacking into the basement, they opened up the assembly room, and then they brought people in through suits, and that enabled them to get the plant down. It did get diffused, but they got the plant down. And the other time was in round 6. They were able to get both IT and assembly to be able to create a lot of pressure through the vertical interplay as well as the window into cargo. So that as well was another example of them having 2 lanes, putting the plant down. That time was successful. An example of them not having 2 lanes, round 5, once again attacking the basement. This time, no 2 lanes. They only had control of Animus and no control of cargo stairs. And suddenly they go try to plant, and it's just easy swings from the Cade, easy pickings. That round just goes in the dumpster. You look at the next ones. And one of the things I want to point out, yes, Ions had fantastic teammates, excellent plays all around, but Ions had so much more impact on the defense and the attack. And that is also because there are 2 lanes. Because when you are a hero, you can only be a hero in 1 lane. And while he was a hero in 1 lane, not having the support from another lane meant that there was very little impact from those hero plays. Once he was allowed to be on defense, those hero plays became a lot more impactful. For example, in round 7, he was playing the top Aqua Stairs, and he managed to get a kill, 1 kill onto IT and Garage, and that opened everything up. They realized we need our second lane. So they go and they send someone Aqua, he kills that guy, kills 2 more Garage, and the entire round is completely shut down, all off the back of 1 player. That is not possible when you're attacking. And so we switch over to defense. Ion's already on a fantastic game, already 17 kills by the end of the first half, and just continues to snowball into a half where that's even more impactful. And suddenly you end up putting yourselves in an overtime situation, and at the very end, once again, EKU goes in, takes Animus, doesn't take cargo. 5v5, I looked at it and I said, EKU loses this round. That's exactly what we saw. Goes down to a 3v1 the moment they try to go plant, and that goes exactly where you think it goes. A PFW victory.
Yeah, I mean, defuse are just not really beneficial to the EKU attack, but I mean, sure, the kill leader's in the building right now. Ion's the hotshot. He's so good. Wow, look at PFW go. But that match was very much favored towards EKU in the starting stages. So let's kind of talk about what they did right.
Yeah, so EKU, what they did right, I mean, taking their defense and putting it in, reasonable spots. It's the same thing with PFW, how they were defending. EKU, my apologies, was able to stop a lot of these moments of two-lane interplay. And when they did, that was what was really important. For example, on round 2, round that I mentioned that the plant did go down, did not go in the favor of PFW. That was an EKU round, and it's because they went through suits and eliminated that entire lane. And at that point, they're only dealing with the player on assembly wall, the Maverick, who has opened up the Swiss cheese holes. And it's so easy to just push him, get him out of that position, because he has no support whatsoever. Even if he had another player over there, so easy to just watch that. So easy to find picks through those Swiss cheese holes at that point because there's no other support. I mean, beautiful play. Excellent ability to isolate. And that was what led to them having a very favorable half during the first half of that game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and mind you, the context going into this, the first map of the BO2, EKU absolutely got blown out of the water 7-0 on Skyscraper. And it's like, at least, sure, they lost. There's nothing you can do when Ion decides to go God mode, but still, I commend them for the effort. It was a good match. And Smoke, any kind of closing thoughts on this before we head to a break?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. The number one closing thought to me is that this series was so big for Purdue Fort Wayne. I mean, with that, they've just skyrocketed themselves back into second for their group. It wasn't looking good, especially if they had just gone down that map as well. So, again, there's not really much to add. I mean, Yelly already covered everything that we had in mind, had in store. And, yeah, from there, I just cannot wait to see Ions keep on popping off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of storylines building up here, a lot of rivalries. The battle continues here at Butler after the break.
Thank you for watching. For more updates, follow the Butler Esports socials at Butler Esports.